In the longhouse, putting whale oil on the fire. I'm as heavy as a unit followed by 21 ciphers. So all I'm seeing is...
All right, that was just a little bit of some intro music for the commentary we got.
All right.
We are back, Build and Destroy Show. You already know, Wicked Meticulous, May Dolly, High Rise in the building. We do have a special guest today. It is Anders Ibsen. He is running for the mayor of Tacoma, Washington, our town. So we have him on to go ahead and give his, his whole spiel, his stump speech, and we'll ask him some questions, and
all right,
we'll go from there. So welcome. Thank you for coming.
Hey, thanks so much for making the time. Really appreciate it. This is so cool. So hey, just a little bit about me. Anders Ibsen, candidate for mayor. I'm a lifer, born and raised here in Tacoma. Bounced around different neighborhoods. But I served on the city council from 2012 to 2019. It's where I actually ran into some of you folk, and we had worked on a lot of the issues that are just kitchen table stuff, man. I mean, just the things that are important to Tacomans from all neighborhoods, like working families issues, housing affordability, and that's really what I'm trying to make the cornerstone of my campaign right now. Is people are just struggling. People are just really hurting out there right now, just struggling to get ahead and just to keep their head above water economically. And everything from housing affordability to making sure that when we do focus on issues like homelessness and safety, that we're not being blind and reactive and just continuing what's failed, but trying new things and trying to be more involved regionally, so that we're actually bringing more people to the table to make sure people get the help they need, and that our neighborhoods get relief, and we're not just kicking the can down the road and moving the problem from one neighborhood to another, because that's kind of the approach that a lot of people are expressing the most concern about, and that's not what I want to continue. Those are the biggest highlights, and also just a focus on economic development that really grows real middle class opportunities for folks, so that when our city improves, it's not just through gentrification. So it's not just, people being priced out of more expensive neighborhoods like King County and then coming to Tacoma and then pricing out the locals and then get moved out to Lakewood or Spanaway or Chehalis, but robust economic development that actually raises the opportunity for everyone. So it's not zero sum, but, so everyone gets to share a piece of that pie. And I think a lot of that can be done. I think there's a lot of room for just better leadership and just making sure that we're creating opportunity, but in a more equitable way. Those are my values. That's what I really care about. Proud to be endorsed by the local Democratic Party, organized labor, the local environmental movement, local leaders like Senators Trudeau, Tawana Nobles, and others. You can take a look at my campaign website if you'd like more specifics. It's just my name, AndersIbsen.com. But you guys are here to ask questions, and I'm not here to just be a politician and yammer about myself. I'm more interested in just listening and hearing what you guys care about and what I can answer and how we can work together.
For sure.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure I see Chandra's in the session today too. So before I'll open it up to y'all folks for any questions, but I guess I just wanted to kind of circle back on how we got here. Is you still do old school door knocking?
Yeah, that's the truth.
And you knocked on my door,
mm-hmm.
and you gave me your
you
gave me your flyer and your card. And I said, I'm going to get with you. And now you're here on our podcast. So that's really, it speaks to the ethics and the kind of route that you take, kind of a more old school, you're knocking on the doors, trying to get to know people and meet them face to face and shake their hand. And I just want to acknowledge that, because that's, that's the type of stuff we was into.
Yeah.
Well, Josh or May, do you have any opening questions?
Well, I mean, I'm sure we both have questions, so I can jump in and take a turn. I was just gonna, tell the listeners that what Anders says is true, and that I'll speak personally. I won't speak for all of Build and Destroy or all the activist circles in Tacoma, but I found you to be accessible and truthful and real, and I want the listeners to know that he was one of the few ones that really stood up and tried to get a minimum wage raise here, and
which we did, by the way, eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he would have been one to go even harder on that. Give the workers a better bottom line. I'll let him talk about that. But I thought it would be fun, since you're a lifer of Tacoma, to just ask you, like, I didn't prepare these, but I'm just going to try to think of some Tacoma questions, some general Tacoma questions. What is your favorite restaurant in Tacoma?
Oh, dude. I'd say it's a split. Like, it depends on what I'm trying to go for, right? Like my haunt for like meetings and stuff is Cook's. Cook's is on Alder and North 26th. I like how they switch stuff up. If I'm trying to impress someone, like impress a lady friend or whatever, I'd say Stanley's down the east. Cool. Yeah, totally. If I just want pancakes, like Marsh's Silver Spoon, that's pretty awesome down on Sotak Way. And, like I try to just. I love hole-in-the-wall places too. Like I discovered this place not too long ago in Freight House Square of all places called the Olive Ranch. It was like they had some like just tea and like crumpets and stuff. It was like I was in Canada, but it was pretty nice, And they had some nice Indian places. Oh, Gateway to India. That's really, really awesome too. That's my favorite. Best pho is definitely Viet Dong in Lincoln. I love me some Viet Dong, although not to hate on Pho King or on Lily's. Those are pretty good too. But I'm a connoisseur of fine pho. But yeah, man, I try to keep an open mind. But those are the first few that come to mind.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I mean, just the array of restaurants in the different areas will let listeners know that he actually knows the area.
Yeah. Can I talk about food and council meetings real quick? Because I mean, you guys have been to your fair share of council meetings. I'm. This is going to sound funny, and because it is, but I'm like not joking. I really want to try this. Think of like those really long city council meetings, like the community forums that just go on forever, and just everyone is so upset, and like council, that they're just like people feel they're not listening, or whatever. Like there's just very normal kind of frustration that people feel, and how much of that could the city kind of defang and improve if we just fed people? Like what if we and it'd be so cool. We could sponsor like a startup restaurant in the area, or just get like a good taco truck, like those family owned like taco trucks out there, and just like camp one of those things out there outside of City Hall and just like feed people, right? Get the blood sugar taken care of going into the council meeting. Just if you're feeling upset, cool, just step outside, get yourself a taco or something, and walk right back in, make your peace, and like some economic development, help the local business community, maybe make people a little bit nicer to each other, just win-win. How expensive would that be? So just putting that out there, planting seeds.
I'd like come to an extra meeting or two for a taco.
Right. Build some involvement. I mean, we kind of did that with participatory budgeting. That was one of my little legislative endeavors. My second term was trying to get some more community feedback for how the city plans its budgets, and that was one of my big things. Is you have to feed people, you got to provide childcare. Like if you do those things and make it accessible, like put it on a major transit line, and just bring it to the people and just make it real for them. And for doing that, why not our regular meetings too, or at least the ones where we invite the public out to, the major ones.
Good I like point. That. That's a relatively open-minded, but kind of outside of the box approach, and you're hitting, like you said, kind of a win-win, alleviating some of that pressure between the council and the folks coming to speak their mind, and then also maybe that draws more engagement, gets more people to just come to be at these meetings.
Is credibility, because we're at a really big credibility gap between the city government and the people, and we have for some time. COVID didn't help things, but it precedes COVID, and even coming out of the pandemic, I mean, there's still a lot of work that has to be done. I mean, we've lost so much talent that we've hired during the city, for example. So there's a lot of turnover among some really qualified people that we've lost. We've had 2 failed levies, for fire and street repair. I mean, these are things people care about. And so the restoration of credibility of the city government, it's going to take big things. Like we do have to get a handle on homelessness, and we do have to get a handle on our crumbling roads and so forth. But a lot of it is just small stuff. A lot of it is just small, like face-to-face, like individual interactions that you have whenever you're talking with a city representative or employee, and just just that kind of culture done consistently, like that is a very big deal that I care about. It's how I try to run my own business that I own. And it's what I'd really love to work to infuse into the city government. And there are a lot of different things we can do there, but just looking for examples.
Nice. May, you got any questions?
Yeah, I got a two-parter.
Yeah.
Can you, I guess, describe your childhood and go over some of your earliest memories growing up in the town?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm from birth to 4. I was born at TG. Birth to 4, I was actually in Fircrest, and I left Fircrest when I was 5 and moved to the west side where I grew up. And I bounced around different parts of town, West End, South Side, North End. Growing up, like some of my earliest experiences, like earliest, was my grandparents, because both my parents were educators. They worked very full time, and they were still there. But my grandparents actually uprooted. Like they were in a very Polish neighborhood in Buffalo, New York, and like my grandfather, he was a pharmacist, not like a Rite Aid pharmacist, but like an actual, like, he would make stuff. He was like the kind of the neighborhood wise guy. Like
Wow.
he would like give people what they needed, but he, besides running a shop, like people would come to him for marriage advice, and he would like take in the street urchins and like give them things to do, and like try to turn them on to classical music, and just like he was like the neighborhood mentor, right? And just very deep roots in his neighborhood in Buffalo. And he moved because he finally had grandkids. Like he just uprooted himself from decades of family and connections and all that, just to serve his family, and just a hell of a guy, right? And so he and my grandma, they're my main caregivers growing up from my earliest years, and just profoundly moral people. Like they're just the warmest, like just give you the shirt off the back type people. And that was very influential. That showed me what goodness was. And it was rough seeing them go downhill in Taos, but that was also formative too. But just those two things were really formative, because they taught me just what the most kind of just the sheer force of charitable, just giving love, in a person. And also just in the heartache of seeing those people kind of go away, and, kind of the role reversal, seeing my parents kind of caretaking that role. It just really infused me early on, just how you can't take life for granted, and just how just quick things can disappear on you, and just how to value them, just the fleetingness of life, and just, kind of getting maybe a little melodramatic, maybe poetic or whatever, but just in a way, how beauty itself is fleetingness, like how, like if something is permanent, you can always count it being there. Like there's always, like you just can't help but take it for granted a little, right? But like the high note in the song, or like, just the thing that's not going to be there forever, that sunset, that young love, that kind of artistic muse, right? I mean, the fact that it's not going to be there forever is really what makes it something special. And that was my childhood. That was like some of the, very formative, very early parts. And, there's a ton of other stuff too. It was very musical growing up, but not hip hop, although I did, listen to my fair share, of course, too. I was kind of the rocker kid, but a ton of other musical influences too. But I definitely respect excellence in all the genres.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually, I mean, that was kind of a good, incredible answer to me.
Thanks.
I mean, so your grandparents raised you formatively.
Yeah.
And they're, the fact that they were elderly,
yeah.
You've seen them transition, and that gave you your understanding of the momentariness of
life, man.
And of the good love.
Yeah.
And so you were contemplating that at an early age in childhood.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like elementary school, you're thinking things like that.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to circle back to the restaurant you mentioned stumbling on. You said the Olive
Olive Branch
in Freight House Square.
Yeah, it's off D, I believe.
So I wanted to just hear your thoughts on this whole demolition of Freight House Square to make way for, you know, the station, which, I mean, I've caught the train to Seattle 10 years ago. Like, I'm not sure what the point of destroying the Freight House Square is. Or maybe you have an inside scoop on that.
I don't, unfortunately, and that might be a problem, right? Like I'm a relatively informed person, and I'm running for a major office, and I was never on the Sound Transit board. If elected mayor, I would be, because traditionally the mayor and the county executive and one or two members of each of those councils are Sound Transit delegates. But yeah, there's been contention. Transit agencies, they do their best, but sometimes they kind of get in their own way in terms of communication. We had another example of that. I'll get to your question about Freight House in a second, but just another example of that would be Pierce Transit with Pacific Avenue. So, and by Pac Ave, I don't mean downtown. I mean like Lincoln. I mean like it's still Highway 7, right? But you know, from Lincoln down to Spanaway, there was a proposal to put in what's called bus rapid transit, which would be like once every 15 minutes, which is what we want. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, public transportation I think would have a much better reputation. It would be much more widely used if it was just convenient and you could have comparable speed and convenience to driving somewhere. And, you know, there's safety concerns and all that. But the problem was instead of doing what we know to be like really good urban best practice, which would be to narrow the street, because everyone complains about drag racing on Pac Ave anyway, right? And all the other problems. But instead, they were trying to do the opposite. They were trying to widen the road, which would involve kind of taking some of people's right of way. And, you know, it was just kind of a mess. It didn't really go anywhere. And they could have been a lot more creative with that. So I feel like people just kind of get into a box and they tunnel vision in their decision making, and they just kind of neglect other voices, or they neglect other possibilities, and they just try that one thing, right? And that's where elected leadership really comes in, because staff serve a really important role. I mean, the specialists, you know, some people call them bureaucrats, whatever. They're important because, you know, you want experts to carry out, you know, urban planning and transit and public health and all those things, but you also have to have common sense, and you also have to have community connectedness with what people's real lived experience is. And, you know, and you also have to be a little bit more open-minded and creative, because sometimes it's not a tug of war between X and Y. Sometimes it's up or down, right? I mean, sometimes it's orange, you know, there are other factors. And that's how I approach negotiation too. I mean, I'm a real estate agent. I help first-time home buyers in the area, military families move into the area. And when I'm representing someone, there are some things that are zero sum, right? I mean, a seller generally wants to make as much money as possible. A buyer generally wants the best deal. I mean, you're only going to have one or the other, right? But so many other things are negotiable, but also creative. And in a lot of cases, you can find common ground and just creative ways to approach things that are mutually beneficial. I mean, that's the most successful kind of conversation to have. And that's how I'd approach that. And back to Freight House and back to Sound Transit, I'm not privy to that conversation. I know that Freight House is also just not in the best shape, frankly. Like that's the other problem, is that it's just been left derelict. And, you know, if you walk through Freight House, I mean, it's kind of a sad place, you know. It's not it's in need of some love anyway, the tenant spaces they have there. And it's a tragedy because, one, it's a really historic building. I mean, we're a railroad town historically. But also it's an area that could be like a second downtown. I mean, the Dome area is sort of starting to get some more housing, but, you know, it's built out to be what could be a really trendy, cool place. And trendy, cool places often really benefit from kind of old meets new, right? I mean, if it's all just new, then you kind of miss something. You kind of lose your soul in a way. So, I mean, I'm not sure what stage things are there, just because I've not been privy to that. But in general, I'm a really big fan of, there's kind of a technical term called adaptive reuse, which is, and I know you guys like to build and destroy, but, you know, sometimes you can just build and augment, right? There's your call. But you know, sometimes you can just take something that's old and just repurpose it. You know, you can kind of keep the old bones, but just change it to something new. And yeah, I mean, here's to hoping that there's some more thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Josh, you're up.
Okay. Let's see. How can I phrase it to really get a feel of? Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10,
Yeah.
0 being no way it would ever happen, 10 being happening for sure.
Yeah.
What is the number that you would give that Tacoma could have a true progressive majority on the city council with enough council members and the mayor having enough votes to really like control the direction of the all, the tide rising all boats, really raising minimum wage, really building like low income housing. Like we don't say affordable because you were around when you know how they use that term.
80% AMI, yeah, sure, right, yeah. So affordable housing.
So we want low income housing. We want people to say that too. Say that to use that terminology. I think that helps people understand the difference between the false how the difference and. What number would you give that?
It's a I'd say it's in the middle and like probably a 5, because in the mayor's race, of course, there's 6 people running. I myself am there. Besides that, there are a few other seats that are open, some of which are very predictable. Like in seat number 2, I mean, Councilmember Rumbau is obviously going to win, for example, and some of the open seats, like in districts 4, 5, and 6, which are 2 district seat for Lincoln area, South End, East Side, and then just south of 56th. That's seats 4 and 5 respectively. And then seat number 6 is citywide. We have a good array of people with different different backgrounds and views there. So my advice is really just get familiar with the people running for the open seats, because that could definitely influence the political makeup, and also just not even just the partisan. Because I think they're all some variety of Democrat for the most part, but just the experience and the perspective and just the different priorities in those races. Full disclosure, I haven't endorsed in any of those races. I mean, I know a fair amount of them there, and frankly, I'm also just very focused on my own particular race, right? Like that's between that and raising my kid and my business, that's kind of like all I have bandwidth for these days. But there are some pretty good people running those races, and I think depending on how they shake out, that'll certainly have reverberations for the council. The other thing too is that we have some just turnover in experience. I mean, we have some relatively experienced council members, but generally it's going to be a fairly new council. I mean, if I'm elected, I'd probably be the most experienced one, seeing as that I served there for 8 years, which is more than the current council there for the most part, because I'm the only person returning there. But yeah, a lot of new faces, which you could say is fairly opportune, because a lot of these ideas that you're mentioning, like not just quote affordable housing, but housing that actually is meaningful for low income people, right? Or really taking a look at just policies that have not been considered, or just no one's ever really brought them forward. It's not even just about the progressivism of those ideas. It's just about the bigness of them, right? Because the issue with, like the multifamily housing credit or what have you, isn't just, whether or not they have questionable impact, but also just they're very safe and small. They're very like, oh, this is the way we've always done it type of ideas. Whereas something I really am a big fan of, for example, is you've probably heard of what's called social housing, which is just getting the public sector back in the business of building and managing rentals, which is very common in many other parts of the world. Like my favorite, which I encourage you to read up on, is in Vienna, Austria. Vienna, Austria they're very well built. They're beautiful. They're not like the projects, it's not like Cabrini Green in Chicago or whatever, but it's more like Salishan, it's more like a blend of, here's your very low income, here's your kind of workforce housing, here's your market rate, here's your owner occupied. So it's just like a good mixture. And that's really important to me as well, is that when we have programs like think of Social Security. I mean, everyone gets Social Security. It's not just something for the poor. It's something that everyone pays into, everyone gets. And everyone has that sense of assurance because like even like very comfortable middle class people are paycheck to paycheck these days. Like almost no one has savings these days. Like everyone is just so precarious right now. But also just kind of the feeling of social trust, between different groups. And that's the problem I really have with like means testing, like, oh, you can only be so poor, or only have so much money to qualify for these programs, whether it's food stamps or cash assistance, whatever. And the problem I have with that is twofold. One, it will always lead to resentment. Like if those people over there, like if you've ever been on public benefits, like if you've like been on food stamps shopping at a grocery store, and like you kind of get that silent judgment based on what you're buying, like it's either like, oh, you're too good for me because you try to buy healthy stuff, or why are you buying junk food? Like why are you spending my money on that crap, right? Like you can't win, right? That's why self-checkout is like your godsend if you're on food stamps, right? Because no one's judging you. But like that's a problem, right? Because if it's only for quote those people, then you're going to like undermine the political will for those otherwise really helpful programs versus something like Social Security, which is very popular, or like Medicare, because we all qualify, we all get it, right? And so that's my first problem, is that it undermines the social fabric. My second problem with means testing is that it traps people in poverty, because if, let's say you only qualify for a program that can help yourself get to a better opportunity in life. But once you start getting better, you no longer qualify. It's like, well, shit, I'm stuck, It's like, what's the incentive to improve? And so back to housing, I'm a very big, and that's why I love the Austrian model so much, because they don't means test. Like you could be like a clerk at a grocery store, or you could be a tech bro, and you could still qualify for public housing, And
so it's just available, and people can apply if they want to.
That's the truth. That's correct. And it's, different income levels. What I also like is they've built so much of them that it's effectively rent control without all the complexity of rent control. Because how do you stabilize or drop the rent? You purposefully build too much housing. And the problem that we have right now, among other, we have a lot of problems with housing, but one of the problems is that we are so reliant primarily on market-driven private development, is that private developers will never build past the point of saturation. I mean, if you've reached the point, which we kind of have already in places like downtown Tacoma, I mean, they've built a lot of apartments down there, which, I mean, it's great. I mean, we've activated spaces, but they overbuilt, which is pretty common for the development cycle. And now there's no incentive to build more because you can't get a loan. If you're a builder, even if you wanted to, you couldn't get a loan because you can't prove to an institutional lender that you can get a certain level of profit. And so fits and stops is how private development works. Whereas the public sector doesn't have investors. I mean, you just have to break even, right? And so if you have like a robust system in place where you're constantly building, and you can build a little bit more, like purposefully flood the market, then that's how you stabilize the rent, and you can do so in a way that provides more units for more people. So that's very expensive to get started. That's where the rubber hits the road. I have some ideas on how to do that. We can't just have a housing levy. I mean, there might be some room for having that conversation. And we do have a really broken, unfair state tax code. I mean, that's another point to look at. But one of the ideas would be, how can we better leverage resources we already have? I mean, we have tens of millions of dollars with the city alone that we bank in Wells Fargo. That we that's just our liquid cash. That's just the money that we have available at any given moment, just for paying payroll and keeping the lights on, and paying contractors and stuff. But it's in a big Wall Street bank rather than here available in the community. So how can we better leverage resources like that to start the seed capital for a nonprofit public housing developer to work in concert with other entities to get some of the stuff built, maybe activate some of the vacant land that we own, or surplus properties that are owned by other agencies like the school district, the county, the utilities, whatever, work with the tribe maybe, and then just get that process rolling, and then just treat it like a business, except something in the business of housing the people. So that's one of the grander ideas, and that's very long term, and that requires a lot of moving parts. But it's not even just about quote progressivism. Back to your question about the council makeup, it's more about bigness. It's like how big are we willing to go in terms of our imagination, because that's one of our failings, is just our settling for what's familiar, even if it's mediocre and not delivering what we need.
Yeah, I like your reiteration on that bigness aspect. I look at it, it's like we need big solutions for a lot of the problems that we
really
have.
Big problems, yes.
Yeah. So, and I think that's always been kind of a sore spot in just government in general. Not maybe not just Tacoma, but in general, it's government takes that small piece at a time and piecemeal approach, and mostly it's just kicking a can down the road for a future generation to deal with, and by that time it's going to be bigger and more complex to address, where if we can come up with some ideas now that make sense, and we can get some real invested parties and organizations at the table and start ironing out the details, and let's get things done. Like I'm at the stage where I want to see things get done.
That's right. I'd say like 99% of Tacoma are in that stage right now. It's people have compassion. People still really want to help out, but they also have compassion fatigue. They want to see stuff happen. They want to see accomplishment.
Well, May, do you have any other questions, or maybe you want to throw them a music sub?
No, I know what he does requires a lot of energy, and I just want to know, what does somebody like you do to recharge your batteries or decompress to keep yourself able,
Yeah. Well, it really helps when you're doing something you're called to do. I will say that. I mean, like, how many long hours have you spent like in a sound recording studio or working on lyrics or just, I mean, that's the beauty of being an artist, is that your muse is your work, like you get better by just listening to a lot of people and just ripping off a lot of people, especially when you're young, like you should be ripping off people, because that's how you develop your own sound, right? But that's also work, right? In the sense that you're progressing towards something you want. And I'm not saying it doesn't like take energy, but when you're really doing your purpose, when you're called to serve, and it's something that really motivates you and drives you, sometimes it just doesn't feel like work. Like this is just people engaging with each other. That being said, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do offline too. I mean, I run. I'm pretty athletic. I do. I have a gym I'm a part of. There are a lot of people I'm part of a group called Tacoma Runners. We have a little 5K that we do every week, and they do some pub runs and stuff like that. That's a lot of fun, and really helps with campaigning too when you're going door to door. To get your form and steps in. I had a busted knee, so I had to visit a physical therapist last year, and so I'm getting some solid reps. Helping myself run better. I'm a single dad. I have a 3-year-old, so I just my time with him. I'm trying to be very intentional. Like whether it's just taking him to the park or Point Defiance, or just he loves Titlow Beach, because there's the trains there, and he's really into trains. He's loco for locomotives. But or like more expensive stuff, like a big hiking trip. I have a big rescue pity, so me and my 2 boys, we just try to go out into nature and just disappear for a little bit. And this might kind of surprise you, but I'm actually like quite introverted. Like I love people. Like I'm not antisocial, but for me, like it's joyous work, but it's still kind of work. Like to really put myself out there, network, mingle, whatever. So sometimes like I just disappear, like with a book in like a cafe or a pub or something, and just read something or just catch up, and small groups of close friends. Yeah, man, I'm pretty boring. It's I'm 39. This is my idea of a wild time.
Good. I like that.
If there's more questions, you should stay on. My son's got a basketball game at 6:00.
Oh, dude, that's important. Yeah, go and do it.
I might hop off and go watch them. It's their little championship tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually in Portland, right. But Chandra and I have a question, and it's more about also tied back to when you were on council.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of people that were, I would say, forewarning about ICE, and you know, and it was more focused on that detention center. But we've seen this dilemma just grow.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I just think it's of the moment. I don't necessarily have a question, but you know, I think you should speak on it. I think a lot of listeners are probably.
I'm happy to speak on it right now. I think about this a lot. A lot of people are talking to me about it. So, for one, we just have to name it, right? I mean, we can't just say ICE. I mean, what we're literally talking about is fascism. I mean, that we have to call it what it is, right? We have to own it. And the thing about fascists, and just like any other kind of bully or any kind of tyranny, is they only have power through fear. That's all they have. That's all they have to offer is fear, right? And I'm not saying that we have to not take them seriously. I mean, these are really dangerous people, but if we refuse to fear them, right, what do they have left? They're paper tigers, right? And so part of it, just on a deeper level, is just having leadership that can just say the emperor has no clothes. You know, they can just call a spade and just call things what they are. And also at the same time refuse to compromise our moral integrity as a community and refuse to back down, because when you appease the bully, it's the opposite, right? I mean, when you stand up to them and when you just you know, when you tell them that, when you draw that line in the sand and stand by it, right? Which, by the way, like look how Trump has handled tariffs. I mean, he's the taco president, right? I mean, he backs down, right? I mean, that man has no spine. Neither do his minions. I mean, they just want to torment people they think are their inferiors, right? But we're not inferior. We're just the opposite. And not only are we not inferior, but there's a lot more of us than there are of them, right? You know, we have to be really cognizant of that. So that's the bigger overarching thing is just having leadership that gets it in those key ways, but also like specifics too. Like there are specific ways, like homegrown ways that we can fight fascism and advance freedom and the things we care about. So in no particular order, our police department. So making sure that we have the best kind of leadership top down to make sure that not only are we continuing to double down on our refusal to rat people out to immigration, which is TPD policy already. It's City of Tacoma policy. But right now, the biggest immediate decision there is the hiring of the police chief. So we have an interim right now, Patty Jackson. She actually seems to be doing a pretty good job from everything I hear, but making sure in the confirmation or the search or whatever for that position that we're really clear about what we expect from the department, and also the hires the chief has to make, because we've had some pretty frictious things that I've heard about the underlings of the last chief. And like we had an assistant chief who left under not the best circumstances, and that doesn't inspire confidence among the community as well as the officers too, right? So getting our own house in order is essential. Secondly, we have another very homegrown problem in need of help right now with our county sheriff. I'm not sure how much you guys are following that, but speaking of fascism, we have an avowed ICE apologist who wants to violate state law, who openly has brazenly, like, isn't that great? A law enforcement official who brazenly wants to break the state law, and says he wants to openly collaborate against our people and just round people up at the behest of ICE. He and the county are currently at loggerheads legally, and it's just a total mess. And what I want to know is, where is the city in all this? We are the county seat, and that's not our department, but that's weak sauce. You know, I mean, like we're the same community, right? We're the same people, and people are looking to us for leadership. And when there's a clear need and you're not talking, you're still talking. You're talking through your silence, you know? So I would defer to the county executive and the leadership there about what the best way is to help. But if there's a way for the city of Tacoma to help in some way, legally or otherwise, I'm there. I'm happy to explore that. Third,
because the detention center in Tacoma is such a blight, on our city, and it affects so many people, not just the people who are trying to get a good pathway to citizenship here, but
it was never about the
there's plenty of farmers.
There's citizens now. It was never about that.
And there's but also just like as a Tacoma person, right, who's lived and loved in Tacoma for many, many years now. You know, there's farmers in Tacoma, there's small businesses in Tacoma, and these are all people that are being affected directly by the presence of the ICE detention center right here in our own city. And so I just really want to impress upon you, you know, that it's you know, it's not just a few people. The people, all of the people of Tacoma are being affected by this center. And so I know that it's not necessarily always in your jurisdiction, but you know, but as a future representative of the Tacoma people, I really hope that you keep that in the back of your mind, because we're all being affected by it right now. And even, you know, like I said, like small businesses, like economically, you know, it's killing parts of Tacoma because there's people that are afraid to leave their house, afraid to show up to work, afraid to, you know, do all of this stuff. So, you know, us as citizens, but us also, you know, as the people of Tacoma, as business owners, you know, we all really want to see some strong leadership in our city council and in our, you know, just strong leadership on that subject. And so thank you for your answer. And I really hope, you know, for the future of us that that everything works out. And thank you for your answers.
Oh, my pleasure. And if I can add one more thing, I would say in some ways that's very much within our jurisdiction, because even though we don't, you know, control immigration policy and we can't actually remove the GEO group or ICE, they are still a private business operating within Tacoma, and cities have a lot of broad authority through licensing to regulate private businesses. I mean, a really good example of that, and I'll make this brief to make time for if there's any other questions, is GEO Group, the private company that is operating the detention center down there. They were just brazenly violating state minimum wage laws for their detainees, just like paying them a buck an hour, right? Who went after them? The state attorney general, Bob Ferguson at the time, and now Nick Brown, sued them, and then they lost it at the court level, at the trial level, and they won at the appellate level. And now GEO has to pay the minimum wage. You know, shocking, right? But where, again, same as with the sheriff, where was the city in all this? This is you're correct, a blight, and this is our community. Could we have at least, you know, there's a term called an amicus brief. It's basically like a supporting legal document that you file, like in support of someone who's moving forward something. There are a lot of ways that we can do this, but as a potential mayor, like I would really love to relook at our legal department, and instead of just playing defense and just, you know, CYA, you know, like cover your ass and just preventing us from being sued, which, you know, people are going to sue you anyway. What about a more playing offense a little bit more, especially with injustice, you know? So there's absolutely a role for the city to do that.
Yes, we need a proactive approach.
Certainly, yeah, and the attorney general is actually a really good template. I mean, Bob Ferguson and even predecessors, your former governors like Christian Gregoire with the tobacco companies. I mean, you can advocate for the people, using your legal team. You're not just protecting the city, just like, the HR department, right? You're not just trying to cover your ass and avoid responsibility. Like you can actually advance things and you can take on really hard challenges people are facing.
Thank you. Thank you for that response too, because we're always helpful for more avenues.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the only limits are imagination.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to sign off, but I appreciate you and good luck with all the future. Thank
you so much.
All right. Thanks, Chandra, for popping in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I didn't have any other questions for you. I wanted to give you an opportunity to go ahead and just, kind of give your final speech,
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Just tell people what you're about and where they could get to you. I mean, if you're a Tacoma voter, the election's in 2 weeks, so.
And it's really now because ballots have been mailed out. You probably should have received them. If not today, then certainly Monday. So the primary is actually really important because there are 6 people running for Tacoma mayor. And I think that, for a variety of reasons due to just competency, experience, and just values. I think, you know, my campaign's a little different than the other people running. But yeah, I mean, this race is mostly just about, do we actually move forward as a city and actually have the courage to try these big things for the pursuit of the good of all, or do we just settle for more of the same? I mean, that's really what this race is about. And if you are hungry for something different and better and imaginative and more energy, more forcefulness on behalf of you, I'd be very appreciative of your support, not even just in the campaign, but moving forward, because it's going to take a village to lead and move us forward even after the election. But if you want to find out more about me, I'm Anders Ibsen. You can just go to my campaign website. It's literally just my name, ANDERSIBSEN.com. Feel free to take a look. I'm also in the voters pamphlet and this, that, and the other. And yeah, August 3rd is the primary. So make sure to turn your ballot in before then. You have a couple weeks to decide. There's some other important races too. But hey, guys, I'm so appreciative of your great questions and all you do for the community. And this is really fun.
Thank you for coming on. And, you know, we're like Josh said in the beginning, you know, we don't have on everyone. We're not, you know, trying to come with some super hardball questions. We bring on people that we know, that we've worked with, or someone recommends them, and you're a person that we have actually dealt with in the past, and recognize and see the difference in working with you. I mean, Josh put it in a song. I don't know if you know that your name is in a rap song. So, so yeah, thank you for showing up.
All right, gentlemen, thank you again so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for voting too. And I'm going to start eating some dinner now.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, folks, that was Anders Ibsen. Hey, if you didn't know by now, we not just are about hip hop, but we be getting into all other types of things. You see May coming with the real psychological, spiritual questions about, you know, recharging. You know, we come with stuff that other people don't come with. You're not going to hear people ask about that. How do you balance?
Yeah. We talk to these people, we know who they are, but we like to figure out how they got to be who they are and what it takes to continue being who they are.
Dang, did it just switch me straight up to... It sure did. Oh, there we go. All right, well, we're a little bit past due for halftime. We got already what's been, you know, promoted on other social media strings. The ever elusive new May Dolly t-shirt designs coming up. So with that being said, we have for our halftime, we're going back to the good old SoundCloud, starting with the song that I like. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna go to our background image so I can hit the share button. And we're going to share with audio. And then we'll go and say, what does SoundCloud say?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Some call me Michael, some call me May, but others know me as. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Some call me Michael, some call me May, but others know me as. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Some call me Michael, some call me May, but others know me as. Others know me as. Others know me as. June Jiminy crickets, pinning these specifics to ease any indifference. Season in the season, liberal, and it's just to keep it minimal. Throw away from the spiral, no display from the spiral. Go away, focus, in denial, open space, soaked in safe. If you don't, why you straight? Tornado kick the ride you, why you wait? You either hoping or coping or promoting or gloating. Vacate, stay safe, soaking in ocean. New pool, new dude, but no shin. Alchemist to the usual Loken. O to the old friends, soon remedy visits, lending me a efficiency to lean from enemies' tension, a reasoning from beings' inventions. Cast the news away unless the actual proof display is even without it. I'll be okay. Whey protein in the morning. Don't forget to weigh yourself. After you weigh yourself, you wanna be on protein, or you should stay yourself. Go to sleep with no dreams. Yo, I could say it's fell. Lean gains in a clean range. Heard he rap back then in a sturdy lap. Take shots on the court, no birdie stats. Fake blocks in the sport where the nerves be at. Abundance never heard me lack. Wave conjunctions for today's population. Just another main observation. In the rush to get away, not adjacent. Cerebral mind rounded, not an equal sign. Knowledge bars you seek, you find. Too deep, 2 times for the cause. Your felines be fine, resort to claws. Imported so the men sport it, you should ensure it. It's important. Y'all verse hogwash to the pork print. We lost tribes from the God side enforcements. Peace signs for the poor rich and the poor rich. Refined with way more assortments. What you wanna do, what you wanna do. Some call me Michael, some call me May, but others know me as what you wanna do, what you wanna do. Some call me Michael, some call me May, but others know me as what you wanna do, what you wanna do. Some call me Michael, some call me May, but others know me as what you wanna do, what you wanna do. What you wanna do, what you wanna do. Faster than I famished, not one hand slip when writing from the Sanskrit. Wow, such heights from the handwritten, much heights from the plan shift. Dutch mics and crush mics and this. Euphorious from new formulas, dude warmed enough. If you form a fuck's immune system is armored up. It's not charm or luck, artistry in a farm pharmacy left me harden up. Pause for the pauses. Trace the metal deposits and all this. I was healing from the soul with the silver and the gold. Platinum for the rap and caption the sun. Weed to assimilate. Beast on the dinner plate. The beast, but it's been innate. Too many secrets to innovate. Easy quantum on the feet when he's stomping. People watching on, easy option. You can see me popping, he be locked in on. See me with it, see me any day, mini play. For those taking it serious, making a pyramid. Faking a spirit big, my nigga here it is. Bearing the steer the ship, sky's captain. Sky captain, Merkaba with the lines packed in. Fine fashion, mind relaxing. This ain't a pen, it's a rhyme contraction. I was tapped in.
Many people assumed that Dolly was keeping track of his work the way some artists do, and that was not true. And others assumed that since he had agents or galleries that exhibited him regularly, that they were keeping track of things. And that turned out not to be true either. So there just was no catalog in existence at the time that I went to him finally with a proposal for a catalog.
Est-ce que les autres peintres ont signé en blanc?
Ça arrive rarement. Il n'est pas naturel de signer en blanc des feuilles. C'est la démarche inverse qui est naturelle. C'est-à-dire que le peintre lui-même ne signe qu'une fois que l'impression a été faite, ne serait-ce que pour s'assurer de la qualité du tirage.
Et dans le cas d'Ali, l'artiste n'a pas fait cette précaution.
In the case of all graphics, the edition size is given. It's, let's say, 250 copies on different kinds of paper, and later 1,000 copies. Now, what happens if the plates are not destroyed as they are supposed to be, and as everyone in the art world assumes that they are, and there even may be statistics that they have been?
Precariously, rhymes variously, times buried at sea. Barely from the feed, concrete not conducive to carrying the seeds. Hunter got produced to be married with the keys. Buried with the rhymes, I'm here up in the streets. Turned into a sky fairy, I'm barely a beast. Toys from the oil, goalie in the land of the firm. Y'all slipping for our standards concerned. The candidate and the average and the standard with the Maddox. Camera pens to the plant apparatus. Understand on this land, I'm the lattice. Start ground level, then we climb to the attic. Texture of the rhyme is a fabric. Sections of designs. I'm in the prime of my practice. Taught the whole water, motherfucker, I'm a cactus. Brought the hot oil for a motherfucking catfish. Watch the pot boil, nigga, then we at this. That's not loyal, it feels like entrapment. Went from the glass house now to the glass tent. Still feel a breeze from my last vin. Identified, identified classics. I meant to try mental mind magic. I be stenciled by its defined status. I simply innovate just to tell y'all. Power of the words that can penetrate cell wall. See algae to the inmates. Sense the density. Lack of nutrients made human tense specifically. Stay complicit to script epiphanies. Illicit symphonies that mention misery. No straight lines if you stay wavy. Been a father in style, plus I made babies. Much to stay tucked away daily. Crush the pace if you fuck with May Swayze.
Then the edition just goes on.
Identify.
Voici toujours dans ce petit musée une lithographie.
Identify, identified classics. I meant to try, meant the mind magic. Identified, identified classics. I put the mind magic. I meant to try, meant the mind magic. As the skill set increases steadily, try, meant the mind tragic. As the skill set increases steadily. As the skill set increases steadily, told myself to allegedly let the aesthetics breathe. Poignant and truly anointed. Point said, so you can walk this way or fail to join steps. The haphazardous techniques, the mass averages. Seldom seen, he's a museum class amulet. Shield the weapons left build the protections. So watch who you let in. The black paper mate was always his best friend. Powdered at the honor of the forefathers before karma. Tennessee sailed in the shores karma. Auditory expeditions and excessive missions. Worth respect for living. The flow state requires less decisions. Restitution for the next forgiving. We all have the capacity to directly wreck the system. Build it back over. Rhymes filled to the max quota. The mental telepathy stacks boulders. Where you at? Mushroom blend, aromatics perfume the skin. The words fulfill improvements within. Biodegradable, viable, sensational. Scribe with a latent flows. Let's go.
It's very rich, and I love tremendously money and gold. And that is sleep the best. After one day of war, receive one tremendous quantity of checks with dollars of any kind of golden symbols, and sleep absolutely divine. The law of gold, and the theme of this is one flute, divine.
With the energy exponential, I can stretch the mental to places without the pencil. What's all this picking up out? Real quick, I'm switching a stove. My frequencies were lifting a couch. This for the vouchers, this for the out first. Early risers joke the ripper, walking Mr. Furley visors. Bushy eyebrow, burly survivor, riding on a fat bike, surely through the fire. So many emotions on pages, my moods are binder. Dude's a designer, and I don't drop the crude reminders. If you're a binder, cyclist, I ride the line until my mind hurts. Hit the drops, but pros level the spine first. Grip the blocks, but pros left the divine herd. Rewritten a requiem for all recliners. Testing the testament, nigga, ever since I'm minor. The scent of my herbs intensifies words. It's a vibe like 80 synthesizers. Fixed paths work the eyes like a blinder. Or so I've heard. More so morsels from the Morse code high notes I've heard. Malcolm vibe with a certain gland calcified. It's worth the plan to see me out to try. Truth came when the doubt arrived and snuffed out the vibe. Can't hide in the game if the game's hide. It's the same refrain while I'm too high to complain. Do what you do to choose a vibe and it all change. Suits and ties and shoes apply to shame. Poetic license applied in a slight sense. Line aspect of royal jelly and jester. Soil from the royalty sector is a joy to me. Annoyance leaves, let it float on like buoyancy. Joint lit as an ointment, poignant when appointed. Ready for the smoke, prepared to put the loins in. Happy, sad, like joyously joins in. Talk to the hand until the phone wins. Doppelganger had to battle their own twins. We don't fail to sacrifice for everlasting advice. Last slice of the pie, dice precise, twice.
The area of money, dollars, and
they told me
By the
it was
1970s, Dali was no
boiled
longer
down to oil
concerned
leaves
with the
from
public he
additional
conquered.
poetry. Edification, a considerable flow and speed. Dedication, the most literal notes to speak.
Many people assumed that Dali was keeping track of his work the way some artists do, and that was not true. And others assumed that since he had agents or galleries that exhibited him regularly, that they were keeping track of things. And that turned out not to be true either. So there just was no catalog in existence at the time that I went to him finally with a proposal for a catalog.
All right. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
About. Let me hit that stop share and back to the
Booyaka.
full screen. Hold on, where's me? Where am I at? How come I'm not in here no more? Bring me back. Bring me back. There we go. Oh yes. Oh yes. As promised. Oh, the first.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Ugh. Look at that. Woo! Woo! Come on now.
That's the golden.
Come on. Oh.
On the purple.
Come on now.
You know it's one of those.
Come on. Who? Yo. Talk about universal design. Something like that. Anybody can buy that, man. That's for my peoples. That's for gardeners. That's for my hood folks. That's for my lovers, my family. They don't know what the lily means, but I chose that design, very intentional. The lily has always had symbolic reference to love and prosperity, but the tiger lily specifically, that's resilience, that's courage, that's going up against obstacles and getting over obstacles. The tiger lily specifically, that's on that shirt, that represents the zodiac of Taurus, the month of May. So it's a double entendre design in that way as well. But I had the yoga space needle on deck, but I wanted to put that on ice. That tiger lily design came to me from a flower that I grew that my mother gave me. My mother gave me bulbs, and I grew those successfully out here. And yeah, when that bloom popped, it resonated, and I took that snap and that lighting and everything. It just, something about that picture, it just made it hit. And I feel like that's for all my peoples that just stop and enjoy the flowers, smell the flowers. That shirt is slow down and just look at some of the beauty in this world. I come from, flower meditations and sitting meditations and just sitting and staring, spacing out, observing. I want to throw something out like that for people to slow down and smell the flowers. I cannot be myself, man, even in this land of monetization and sensationalism. You guys are always going to get products that have a story, a backstory to it. It's not Google Images. It's not looking for the fire clip art. It's not AI. That was grown by me. That's water, fertilizer, love, attention to get a bloom like that. And I want to share the fruits of my labors and my blooms with all my people. I love you out there.
Look, that's a great breakdown on a design and the background and meaning behind it. And
it's homegrown, man. It's homegrown.
Yeah, and we'll have those in stock at the Hilltop Street Fair.
I want us to be able, like, it's just like what our podcast is, man. Like, we might have a rapper from the hood on here, and then we might have a lady that's a master gardener, that works in the flower conservatories. You know, like I remember going to the Wrights Park Conservatory back in the day, and I want to show duality of the city in that way. That's my dream. The same way I wanted, Cats from the Hood to rap over Brazilian beats. I want to see, these hard edge folks wearing flowers. You know what I mean? I want to soften it up for a minute and just show that, we could still be who we are, even in the flower garden.
Well, I think that's important. Like,
yeah, duality and man, like I might be on my Tyler Creator shit. I don't know. I felt like a flower boy,
No, you're on May Dolly shit. Like this, the breakdown that you gave. There's no one that we're not getting that from anyone. It's not a word design. It's not a character. That's an actual living flower that you grew from bulbs. Like it has a history beyond just the artwork. And I think
nobody knows unless you grow in bud or something. Like nobody really knows what it's like to sit and wait for something to sprout and then grow and then flower and then, like old dude said, Anders Ibsen, that moment is fleeting. That bloom only lasts for so long, and then that bud falls off, and then you gotta wait. So there's something about capturing that moment of the full bloom, full maturity, and there's just endless symbolisms with something like that. And I suggest, for those folks whose house ain't looking too floral, throw a couple house plants in there. If you're in the studio, throw a house plant in there. Stuff like that encourages the vibe, man, and purifies the space. Just keep things that are living around you as a reminder. Water your plants.
Yeah, I did that today. I had to go through. My joints was getting low, especially in the summertime. They suck up the water a lot faster, even the indoor plants.
Yeah, and I think studies were showing back in the day, like the plants make a sound when they want water. They actually emit a higher frequency when they're thirsty than when they're not. So in my brain, I was like, yo, they scream for it. They scream for the water. So sometimes when you walk around your house and you're like, oh, I gotta water these plants. To me, that's that little, like you're hearing that.
Heard it.
Yeah, I always felt like that because I never plan on watering. It's one of those things that happens in the midst of you doing something else. And I feel like when you're grounded and tapped in enough that's what that is. You're hearing them plants scream for that water. The same way your kids is like, Dad, I'm thirsty. Or make me some noodles. Same thing.
Look, you said that it's a higher frequency. So maybe it doesn't even go through your ear. It just goes straight to your brain.
Yeah, I could believe it.
To the pineal gland.
Yeah, it's nothing I ever hear, but I get jolted. Like, oh yeah, I gotta go out there and I gotta do the flower pot. So shouts to my mom. My family's always had flowers and gardens growing up, and I don't go as hard as they do, but I still hold a certain spot in my heart for plants, and being able to take care of a plant, that the whole green thumb thing, that's always been a compliment. When people say, oh, you got a green thumb, that just meant, yo, you just care.
You're paying attention.
That's all it is.
Yeah, paying attention.
Anybody could do it. It's just
hard though. Like it's hard.
You
have to be on the shit.
So yeah, shouts to my master gardeners out there, and shouts to the flower conservatories and all that stuff, man. No matter what, I'm always gonna be tied to that stuff.
Dope. Well, shoot, I'm gonna be looking forward to that. Got me more hyped up and trying to figure out if I can get one locked in enough time to order it. I wouldn't necessarily need to order more shirts unless I'm trying to do a certain color wave, but I'm gonna
shouts
try.
to Rex. Shouts to A-Rex. He was out here for 4th of July, and I actually gave him a baby bonsai, a miniature bonsai tree as a gift. I hadn't seen him in so long. That was, as soon as I seen him, I ran back to the crib. I'm like, yo, this is for him. Baby bonsai tree. So I hope, I hope he can keep that alive and keep it going. And I hope he gets something out of something like that. Beautify the space.
Yeah, those are tough too. Bonsais.
Yeah.
You gotta hit them with the spray bottle.
Yeah, we grew up watching that. That Miyagi, right? There's attentiveness to that. And again, it's all meditation. You got to sit there and actually put yourself in that space to do that, which requires slowing down. Everybody on the move and on the go all the time. I encourage slow down for a little bit and let time catch up with you, man. Sometimes people be moving faster than the process. And sometimes everything's clicking. You did everything right. You just got to wait it out sometimes and just let life. But I know that anxiety and impatience is a thing nowadays, but sometimes it's fine to be content with, the waiting for that bus or waiting to get picked up. There is a art in stillness and knowing when to seize opportunity when it's time.
Look, what you're saying is facts. Especially right now, it's hard. It's hard for me. I'm that person. Like, I went to the grocery store yesterday, and I'm zooming through. People is blocking the aisles, and Winco got the big aisles too. But
yeah,
it's like I'm trying to get in and get out, and everyone seems like they're taking their time in that grocery store moment. Like, that's not the time for me to sit and meditate. Like I'm trying to get in there, get my stuff, get out. I can sit at home and enjoy time.
Yeah, I feel that.
Water the plants, clean up, reorganize my house, listen to old school music.
Yeah.
Like,
kind of like that. I'm in and out like a robbery when it comes to shopping. I figured out I got to go there early in the AM. I got to go there, right when they open, and that's kind of when it's mine. And I kind of move. I guess I kind of orient the world to my liking. But I'm privileged in that way. I got Fridays off. So I kind of orient the world for my pace and speed, because I don't like being rushed along either. And I don't like when life is rushing me. So I try to put myself in these places where I get to run my pace. And I learned that when I was running, it was really easy to fall into other people's pace on race day. And I had to look down on my watch and go, wait, I trained for this pace. So I'm running my race and they're running theirs. And sometimes slower was faster. Those people that took off out the gate, sometimes I'd be passing them at mile 10, So it was something that taught me about pacing overall and kind of keeping stuff in the tank.
Nah, that's important. Nip said it's a marathon. We're in it for the long run, not for the 40-yard dash. Who cares who can? That's for Cat Williams and everybody else that wants to show, how fast they could run. That's not interesting to me. I've never been a fast person.
It was for me in the beginning, but I had to change. I was all about fast twitch. I actually had to change my body to do slow twitch and slow down, because I'm that same way. I can't sit still. But I started learning the beauty of the slowdown and the pacing.
I'm just saying, in general, like, I would consider myself to be not athletic. I learn how to do things. Like my body isn't. I'm not an awkward person, but like athletic to me means you can run fast, you can jump high, or you're strong. You can lift stuff up. Like it's one of three things. And if you're not one of those three things, like to me, that's the way I look at what it means to be athletic. So I was not fast, I can't jump high, and I'm definitely not strong. So, you know, in elementary school, like that was one of the first things I learned. These motherfuckers is fast, but they can't run. But they can't run far, and they're gonna take off super fast from the starting line. Like this is a 40-yard race or a 100-meter dash, and it's not. We're going around the track 4 times.
Yeah.
And it's like I figured that out like really early to where if I try to run fast like them, they all get tired. Like this is at the age where the kids start walking. You know, they don't to where it's your first few times of doing a mile or something to that effect, to where you don't realize it's going to be so far. So you come out boning out. You might get through the whole first full lap, but on a real track, as 9 years old or 8 years old, that's hella long.
Yes.
So yeah, but after one lap, you see all the other kids. They start walking, try to catch their breath, and then take off running again.
Yeah.
I figured that out really early, like having a pace and just right now. I was never a fast long distance runner, but I would toast people up just at my school. I got a couple of the Jingle Bell runs and whatever that we used to do runs at Stanley with Mr. Fox. Shout out to Mr. Fox, R.I.P.
Yeah, Mr. Fox. Yeah, when I was young, I had reverence for the cheetah, and then as I got older, now I got reverence for the prey of the cheetah, because you know they always show the one that gets caught, but a lot of them antelope get away because they just outrun them. The cheetah's only good for like a minute, and then he burns out, and then you got to sleep for half a day. I started liking the ultra distance because more of them get away than get caught.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, man, there's something about it, and reading about them ultra distance runners and stuff like that. It's more of a mental thing than a physical. So I really started switching my mindset to it's about having the mental. It's not really physical because you're asking your body to do what it already got trained to do, but there's something about having a mental breakdown in the middle of a race and pushing through that side of it, rather than just asking your legs to keep moving, because your legs can keep moving. You know, if you could trick yourself, that's like autopilot stuff, but your brain will try to throw tricks to have you quit before your body will.
Yeah, so then it becomes a brain match, chess match with your own brain.
So yeah, all these ultra distance runners and long distance cyclers, I admire them not for their body or their leanness. I admire them for their mental capacity and the resilience and endurance. And that's what that Tiger Lily shirt represents, are those motifs.
I like that. Look, we're just on the organic spiel right now. So I had a couple things written down to talk about, but do you have any topics?
Shoot,
I wanted to talk about.
I was catching up on the pop culture stuff. I got halfway through Raekwon's album. I got to finish that music wise, but I've been trying to figure out what's going on with Nicki Minaj doing the Crash Out. And I know that she's always held up as the greatest female rapper, and I just think the more that she does what she's doing, it demerits her. Because I feel like if you're the greatest, you don't engage in these activities. And what she's doing right now is coming off very insecure. And I just feel like the people that I revere
I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is all the back and forth hating on SZA, right?
Yeah, tied in with the Jay-Z stuff. Like it's so cryptic. I don't know the whole story of that, but just the image itself of her online ranting in that way, I can't imagine, like Beyonce doing that, or I can't imagine Jay doing that. People that everybody calls the greatest, I don't see them doing that. So for her, I just feel like if you are the greatest female, then act like it. Because right now you're not acting like that. You're acting like the one that got snubbed and got overlooked. But to me, the greatest don't really get overlooked.
Hey, well, I mean, you know me, I don't have the deepest well of listening hours on people's shit. Like, if I don't like you, I don't like you. I don't need to listen to more. So, like, I figured that I didn't like her early on. So it's like Jim Jones, how we talked about Jim Jones. Like, once I know I don't like you, like I don't need to hear more. So I don't, and she's to me just always been outside of the music that she makes. Her personality is like she's trying to be this character, and her character is hella weird. Like it's a really weird character. Like
all the way.
I can't remember. She was on somebody's live with I want to say it was like Soulja Boy or someone. And her eyes, she had some type of contacts in. She was looking hella demonish. Like, to me, I don't know, man. I don't know her personally. I don't listen to her music, but she's just a person to me she's not likable. Now, a lot of people like her, mostly girls, mostly women. It's not like there's a bunch of dudes that's bumping Nicki Minaj. But, I mean, as far as bar skills, I let other people measure that shit. Like, I'm not going to be scientifically calculating people's bars to judge who's the greatest. Like,
she's decorated and all, but I just follow the patterns. Like, to me, women hate women. Like, how many times you gonna get into it with a female? I think I had like 5 people just off the top. I'm like, you done got into it with like Foxy, Kim. You had problems with SZA. You have problems with Remy. I'm like, you guys are just showing like you guys can't occupy the same space ever. And you guys are too sensitive to be the greatest. Like, I never seen Jean Grey doing any of that. I don't see Rhapsody doing that. The female spitters that I hold up, I don't see them engaging in that. And the fact that it's the restraint, the fact that they restrain from doing that, in my eye, holds them up higher because they don't deal with the petty. But she married a man whose last name is Petty. She's Mrs. Petty. And I just think she's living up to that name. And he a weirdo too. So I'm like, all the Young Money affiliates, I don't know why they all weirdo to the point like I can't, like you said, I can't like them even when I try. And I gave them countless chances. But it's
You're better than me.
Yeah, I've tried.
I'm gonna give you one chance. You know, if I just
like Nicki. Remember when Nicki did that track with Tekashi 6ix9ine? I was like, yo, there's desperation in that feature, man. I just don't see why that was a thing that would be good for anybody. I guess it looked like somebody trying to hang on or hold on.
I don't know. I don't know why anybody was doing songs with him. Like, again, that's another person's music I don't listen to. Like, I don't even think I actually heard him rap before. I've just seen him as a character in interviews, and it's like, as a character, like, again, there is another character. You're playing a character, and you're living your life as this character that you've created. It's like Paul Rubens walking around as Pee Wee Herman forever, or at some point this is a character he created. Now I want to do other jobs. I want to do other stuff. I am not this character. But I think these people, they believe that they are the character that they made.
Yeah,
They
I
fall
agree.
into believing they're this person when you're really not.
And she's made multiple characters. She's made like these different alters where she kind of jumps in and out of the different ones where you don't know which one you're talking to because she'll bounce from, you know, New York rapper Nikki, and then she'll jump into like the Queen of England Nikki, and then she'll jump into like Roman's Revenge Nikki. And there's something there about, I don't know if you're doing that intentional or if there's some mental stuff there. Because I know about, people making these outward personalities for themselves to cope. I just see somebody who's not really comfortable being their true self.
Well, that's the whole point. Like, if
like
you're if you're
body
living your life to the point
modification
where you have to keep making up new characters within the same character.
Yeah.
Now there's one main Nicki Minaj, but there's alter egos of that same, but it's still one character. Like that is mental illness. Like that. Like again, that's weirdness.
You can't bang on somebody for body modifications and you have them yourself. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know where all their directions go, but I guess as a segue from Nicki Minaj, I heard that Megan Thee Stallion is dating Klay Thompson.
Oh man, you think that's gonna last?
I don't know about last. All to me, I think about is, well, of course, it's not gonna be, I mean, I don't think anyone really thinks that they're going to live happily ever after. I mean, except for them two right now. Maybe they don't even believe that. But I mean, I don't think even her diehard fans wouldn't, like, in their imagination say they're going to live happily ever after and have 3 kids and they're going to go to the NBA, or 2 boys and 1 girl, and she's gonna be a gymnast like Simone Biles, and like even her own fans wouldn't think that. They're just gonna, they're having a good time. Like, that's all they're worried about is the now.
Yeah, it's like hot girl summer.
Yeah. And
do you think it's gonna raise? Do you think it'll raise their stock equally, or do you think it'll drop some stock? Like, do you think it'll affect his gameplay, or do you think it'll affect her album sales or non-sales?
I mean, for Klay Thompson, I mean, he's at a point in his career where he kind of fell off at the last year in Golden State. But then he went to Dallas, and he didn't produce like old Klay, but I mean, he kept them in some games that, towards the end, as right before Kyrie got hurt. Like they looked like they were gonna, have a good at least push into the playoffs. So as far as next year, I mean, honestly, I was gonna say no one's gonna be looking at Dallas until Kyrie is back, but they got the new white hope, Cooper Flag. I was trying to think of this motherfucker's name, like it was lost in my brain. So yeah, I don't know how in the world they wound up with that fucking draft pick. Like, I don't. There should have been some talks about illegalities in this shit. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how they got that, but so yeah, I mean, next year, since they do have him, I heard he's been doing. I haven't watched any of the summer league games, but I heard him and Bronny been doing well. So I mean, eyes might actually be on Klay Thompson. If they didn't get Cooper Flag, no one would be looking at Dallas at all, and Klay Thompson wouldn't matter. So now I don't know whether he's going to produce or not, but eyes will definitely be on him, not because of Megan Thee Stallion, because people are going to be watching these games because you guys can still be contenders even without Kyrie, because you got this new young dude, and he's supposed to be good, and you still got Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson. Like they got pieces at Dallas. Like they look, as much as people shitting on them for getting rid of Luka, like they look different now.
Mm-hmm.
They look taller. They got a lot more big men. I think they were thinking to try to work around Kyrie as being a smaller guard and having a lot of big tower people to catch the lobs. And then you got Klay Thompson, and who else do they still have over there as a shooter? Is what's his name, Junior, still over there?
Yeah, I don't know that for sure.
Hardaway? I don't know. But yeah, as far as your initial question is whether the stock's going to go down, I can't speak for Megan Thee Stallion. What I can say is Clay's going to be in the verse. Like that's Clay's going to be in the verse. I was thinking of it today because I had it written down as a topic. Just not that we talk about gossip a lot, but I was just thinking from the hip hop perspective.
Yeah, for me, from the light skin perspective, like Clay, you got the opportunity to raise light skin stock or bring it crashing. Like, do not make us light skins look bad, homie, because you could look like a king or you could look like a sucker, depending on how this goes, man. Like,
but I'm saying, I think the result is going to end up being the same no matter what.
Yeah, like you with the chick that coined Hot Girl Summer, and you got with her we're in the heat of summer right now, so be careful.
I'm thinking I'm just thinking about. I was trying to think of a clever bar about him being a shooter.
Hey, Clay, don't forget, you can mold clay. Clay can be molded to different things, so I don't want him to get spun. You know what I mean?
There's gonna be, who's gonna be the first person to put him in a bar?
Yeah,
because it's gonna associate something with shooting. Like there's not.
Yeah,
like
you went from a shooter to a shooter.
Yes, someone's gonna do it. Maybe one of these UK battlers think of something like that. The UK have female battlers. They've been talking about the UK versus the US, but if we were to send, are they coming at Nikki? Are they coming at Megan Thee Stallion? Are they coming at Remy? Is she still relevant as a rapper? Do they have women rappers in UK that are like big?
I haven't seen them. All I know is that if they're the best, Drake said they're the best rappers over there. I'm like, run it. Let's do it. Let's run the old World War back. Like, we could do that with rap. There's no way in hell you're gonna think that they're gonna stack up to the spitters on this side. Like, we have way too much artillery over here. I think that was him pandering to a crowd because he knows better than all of us. There's no way UK rappers are handling United States rappers. Like, the accent can't save you.
Yeah, the Ari Spears joint was going around a bunch.
Yeah, man. Like, there's people that still read lyrics too on that Rap Genius. Like, that don't come with the accent. That's just the words on the paper.
I don't like the lyrics that none of these fucking websites and places got because they be using AI and that should be whack.
Yeah, they get them wrong
all the time.
They get them so wrong.
It should be fucking easy to correct.
Remember when you just listened to your favorite song and then just wrote them out yourself?
Yeah.
I remember doing that. Like, yeah.
And
I was
not being able to
recipe.
figure out a certain word like that. For some reason, I must have just had bad speakers or my hearing wasn't the best. But there's a lot of people that like shit that could not figure out what people were saying.
Oh yeah, Michael Jackson. The Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa. Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa. So I found out the real thing he's saying is, I'm gonna say it one more time and I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna say it one more time and I'm not gonna stop. I just found that out recent.
I don't know, man. I think he's still saying "Mama say, Mama." Sound like I don't.
It's that Jimi Hendrix. Excuse me while I kiss this guy. People thought he was they thought it was like a homophobic thing or a homo thing, like while I kiss this guy, and he's like, kiss the sky. There's
I never heard
there's
that.
certain there was a lot of that going down. Nirvana had a lot of that.
Okay, well,
And
I guess it's not
found
just
out-
me. Like my hearing, I hear like
And then you got people like Kurt Cobain. I kind of bite what he does. Kurt Cobain was writing it to where it would sound like other stuff on purpose. He just wanted to trip you up. So there's things that sound like other things. And I notice a lot of older people say it, when they're hard of hearing, you'll say like, hey, pass the biscuits. And then they'll hear a whole another thing. And it's like, yo, how did you make that whole sentence out of what I said? It's like, that's what it sounds like. So it's like our brain be auto-filling it ourselves.
Nah, that's for real. It's like what you were saying about the running too. It's like your brain, it has its own operating system, and sometimes it's just filling things in to just for speed, as opposed to sometimes you got to hack that if you can to get. I mean, hearing loss, you can't really hack that.
Yeah, it's fun hearing what people's brain fills in instead of what you said. I heard somebody at work, they were like, yo, pass me a wet rag. And the dude's name is Greg, and he thought they were saying his name. Wet rag. And he was like, why are you calling my name? He thought wet rag was Greg. But machines are running, and he kind of auto-filled it on his own, but he was wrong. But it happens to me too at work, intercoms and loud machines. Sometimes I go to the office and they're like, no, I didn't call you. I called so-and-so. But over the hum of the machines, I'm like, I swore you said my name. And they're like, nah, I said this. You can go back to work.
Well, I had a couple more topics, but since we're in the music, you did talk about listening to part of the Raekwon. Now, the part that I wanted to discuss was the alternate verse from the Omerta song.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
No, is that on that album?
Yeah, it's the song featuring Nas.
I made it to 600 school, which is, let me see. I think I'm midway. What hit me was I was hearing 808 beats on there. Yeah, I made it to track 9.
Do you see a song called the Omerta?
Yeah, track number 13.
So that song that should be with Nas, but
okay.
The verse that's on there is not the verse that's going around.
Oh.
There's an alternate verse, I guess, that Nas made first, but he didn't want him to put on the album. So apparently Nas will give you 2 verses if you're very friendly and you're in the Wu-Tang.
Can't lie, man. I stopped at track number 9 before the pod, and I just wanted to say, I beat you, Method Man. You said I'm beneficial, but they don't think it's beneficial. I just want to say I beat you. Because on the BAD album, I said this is beneficial. Ah, I made it there first. I get a kick out of that, man. We talk about that a lot. That monkey brain theory. Like, you'll write a rap, and then you'll hear it the next week on a freestyle, and you're like, man, I should have laid that. I should have got that out first.
Get it in. Yeah, get it
beneficial, since it's beneficial. When I heard him say that, I'm like, great bar, but I have a reference. I remember saying that, different but same. And it just felt good to know that, yo, I can think of stuff that, you know, my legends think of too. We on that wave. We're in that
but that was years ago.
Yeah.
Like, so you're in the future.
Yeah.
We're far ahead of our times.
I love that as a writer, you know, when you could find synchronicities with your legends, and it shows like, yo, I can think like how they think. Like, they're not growing up, they seem so far and distant, and then growing up, putting in your hours of practice, it's like, yo, I'm finally here on your planet too. Like, I live here too now. That's such a good feeling as a writer.
Yeah, I feel you 1,000%. You deserve to be there. You put in the work.
Yeah. I mean, it's just words. Eventually, everybody gonna say something, but there is something about getting it out on the wax, on the Waxington, and being able to say like, yo, I got the stamp. I got the time stamp.
Yeah, that's facts. You can't take that away. So, well, I guess since you haven't heard the song, it's supposedly his response to Jim Jones.
Oh, and the alternate one is.
Yeah, and I haven't heard like all the links that I found. It's not like a full song. It's like just his verse, I guess, and on that song's beat.
Okay.
But
did he sound emotional, or did he sound like the greatest? Going back to that Nicki thing, did he sound like he was rattled?
Come on, man. It sounded like Nas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. He acted like who he is.
Yeah, because he never says his name. That's the thing, you know? And I watched a couple different people's reactions, too, on, like, what, you know, the rap channel reactions. So, yeah, he never says his name, but listen to it. Like,
okay,
he's clearly talking about him. Like,
yeah,
and he comes packing, you know, some blows. Like, it's to me, it's like I don't know how to describe it. If I was gonna describe it, it's like he's slapboxing him.
Oh yeah, okay.
Slapping him up. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, man, we forget some of these folks is up. They could just buy your masters. They could pull some Prince or Michael Jackson. They could just buy your masters up. Not even say a word. It won't even be in the headlines. It'll just be like a fun fact. Like, oh yeah, you know Nas owns all the rights to that, and that he don't even own his likeness no more. So be careful, man. Unless you own your stuff, be careful playing with those whales like that, because they'll demoralize you in a different way outside of rap.
He said every time you make an appearance, he's getting paid because he owns your likeness.
Yeah, right. It'll be like some Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana. They're like, yo, we own both. They threw her in a crazy pickle. She's like, wait, what? I'm not me. Like, who am I? They threw her in a whole identity crisis. She didn't know if she was Hannah or Miley. at a certain time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Disney had those rights.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they was making buku off those albums, those Hannah albums, as Miley. And they're like, nah, that's both of ours. Both of them names is ours. And then you wonder why she's swinging on a wrecking ball, you know? They just threw her in the spin cycle. But it happens a lot with those contracts.
What's crazy is you would think that she would be someone that was protected, seeing as your dad was already, you know, in the industry. Like, you would be someone that he's got some money and lawyers that can look over the shit for you. Like, nah, come on, man. You guys can't get my daughter's name, nigga. That's my name. What you mean?
Right.
It's Cyrus. Like,
yeah.
Like, no, we're not doing that. But apparently that shit slipped through. It's Disney. They probably just throw them a whole bunch of money up front. That's what people need to start learning, how to decline the upfront money. Take the ownership route. Just keep all your ownership. If it's a company, nah, man, I don't need to get the extra signing bonus. Give me my signing bonus in the stock, in the equity in the company. So then if you do fire me in 6 months or a year, you know, as long as you guys do well, I'm gonna just keep making money.
Allen Iverson, right?
Yeah,
I think Allen Iverson did it. He did it clean. Like, he did that deal. He got his millions, and now he's second in charge. To me, that was one of the rare examples of playing it right, even as a young man when he got in the game. I don't know who was in his corner or who advised him to do that, but that play worked so well for him.
Well, I don't even want to go to my other question because it's more political, and we already had politics on today. We're not going to double dip on the politics. So you got anything you want to end our session on today with?
Yeah, I had a crazy eureka moment, I guess, when Metro Boomin put out that song with Kendrick and Future, the one that set off the whole battle. Something if you like that, something if you like that. And then Kendrick came out spazzing. I found the original song to that by mistake. That's something bass. It's Rodney O and Joe Cooley. But I found this album in my CDs, my CD collection.
Fuck New York.
Yeah, F New York, Rodney O and Joe Cooley, produced by Egyptian Lover.
Oh shit!
And I
That's
realized
why it says fuck New York.
Yeah, like I realized
the West Coast beat started way before.
Yeah, Metro knew what he was doing because he put that beat that was made by these guys, and it just explains the whole sentiment of Kenny's verse.
Can you see what year is the copyright on that joint?
It's 93.
Oh yeah, because that's definitely.
But early. I wanted to read the note that they put on the back because this is so hood.
That's way before Oh dang, I can't see it.
This is so hood. There's nothing on the inside.
Oh, it's just white. Yeah,
it's a front and a back. But it says this album was inspired by all the negative people in New York who have disrespected us in the past, and because no one else would speak up about how New York disses LA, now someone finally has. This album is dedicated to me and Joe, who put it together in 12 recording sessions. Started on 4/20/92 and completed on 5/10/92. So I just, going back to the Joey and the Raekwons and the East and West Coast has always been a thing.
That's fire right there, man. Yeah, that's some historical shit right there.
Oh, they put that out. They put that out. F New York. And it wasn't because they hated y'all. It was just they was trying to say, y'all keep playing us. So let me go to your city it was kind of like New York before New York.
Hold on, show that one more time, because they was in front of the.
It was like the dog pound. It was like the dog pound.
Was that the Twin Towers or?
Yeah, they're in front of a big skyscraper wearing the LA hats.
Yeah.
So it made me realize, like, wait, they did New York before New York.
I'm saying the East-West Coast tension was there well before Death Row really popped off, because Death Row popped off in '94.
Yeah.
Deep Cover came out in '94. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
And I'm realizing it wasn't even on no gang shit that the media tried to portray. It was, y'all keep playing us at these awards.
Look, they wrote it on the back. Exactly the reason and the time that they recorded it. We recorded this in '92, in the spring of '92. April, like 20 days, 3 weeks. And that might even be the beat production side too. Like back then, they're doing it all at the same time. It's not like, maybe Egyptian Lover had a few beats sitting around, but he was probably making them shits right there on the spot.
Yeah.
So
the youngins out there, Future, like that song samples Everlasting Bass. That's the name of the song, Everlasting Bass, by Rodney O and Joe Cooley. It's the same beat. All Metro did was add some 808s. But I realized as a producer and as a master of psyops, he knew to send Kendrick the Everlasting Bass sample because he knew Kendrick's DNA was going to resonate. Like, oh, I already know what this is. I know what time it's on. I know the vibe. So I felt like if Metro would have gave him a different beat, that verse wouldn't have came out. But for Metro to send Kenny Everlasting Bass, a guy from a group that made F New York, I see it now. In retrospect, I see why this is holding so much weight in the industry, because this ongoing thing between East and West, or LA versus everybody, is what it feels like. Because y'all always make fun of our beats, our slang, how we dress. I understand it now. This has always been going on. It's always us fighting for our spot.
Yeah.
And I love New York, but I had to rep for my West Coast folks, man. This dude is a Rodney O, man, master turntablist. I seen him scratching and mixing earlier on YouTube. I just stop playing us. That's all I want to say. Stop playing us. We had them funky beats. We had the high BPMs. We was the reason why people was putting subwoofers in their cars and all that.
Well, shit. I guess I'll end it with a share, since I have one that's been sitting here that I haven't shown. I'll move the mic. Can we see that? The
Pointer Sisters. Okay. Sisters. That's the one I don't have, but I do have. I got some Pointer Sisters in the crates.
The reason why that is significant goes back to one of the shorts that I posted a couple weeks ago about cartoon theme songs. I've been heavily looking back into cartoon theme songs, specifically in also the intro theme animation. Because trying to develop cartoon shit, so I'm doing my research, and it's nostalgic as well. So I'm having these, posing the questions on what cartoon theme song is versus this one, like.
Yeah, okay.
So, but DuckTales came up, and Eitri, I think he jumped in at that point in the shorts comments, like out of the blue, like some yeah, but they stole that from the Pointer Sisters.
No way.
And if you look it up, I can't remember the song Matter of fact, I can do it now.
Yo, that does sound like them now.
It's the ooh, like there's a specific song that they have.
No, I know what you're talking about. I know their harmonies.
Let me see here. It's called Neutron Dance.
Yes,
their song.
That's the record I have.
So yeah, they're let me see. There's a whole Reddit on it.
I love it.
So the Pointer Sisters came out in '83. Their Neutron Dance. DuckTales, that came out in '87. Well, according to this Reddit, I didn't fact check it. It says it was Pointer Sisters Neutron Dance was a top 10 hit in '85. And DuckTales was done by Mark Mueller, which they have worked with or recorded one of his songs before. So there is some sort of overlap between the writer of the DuckTales theme song and the Pointer Sisters. Like they've had some interaction or worked with each other before. But if you listen to that song, the Neutron Dance in DuckTales, you can hear something in there, like for sure. Like back in the days too, they probably had, I don't know, man. I would say I would have been sending the Pointer Brothers over to holla at old boy. Like, you can't be biting like that, man. We need our cut. We need our cut. You can't do us like that.
Yeah.
But that's why I had dug out that record like 2 or 3 weeks ago, because Eitri brought it up. And I mean, yeah, it was about 3 weeks ago, because it was the last time I was grocery shopping. Yeah, and I was listening to it while I was grocery shopping. I was like, yeah, I could hear it. I could hear it a little bit. Like even the swing, dun, 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 like it's got a
it's the tempo too.
Yeah,
BPMs.
Yeah, like you could hear it. So, shout out to the Pointer Sisters. We recognize your creativeness and being the origin for even the theme songs that we grew up on and we didn't even know.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, shoot, we're gonna call this a great show. We'll be looking forward to you guys popping in next week. We do have another guest. I think who we have? Latasha Palmer, another political candidate. She is running for City Council, position 6, which is one of the positions he talked about. That's the citywide position. So we look forward to speaking with her and having y'all back. Like I said, make sure you hit the like and subscribe and share with your homies. Tell them to come through and chop it up with us on the Sundays. We be here around 5. Today we started like 5:20. I mean, sometimes it happens, technical issues, but we appreciate